Okay, morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Just doing another video this morning on a rather cold morning in Dresden, but the sun is shining, which is great, so just thought I'd get up here for a couple of hours just to do some work on the Landy. I've got a list here which I took from all of your comments on Tuesday's video, so I just wanted to say thank you very much for all of the tips and tricks. I really got quite a lot of response off of that video in terms of what I can do to help sort the idle out. So I'm not going to go through them all here, but I've written a whole bunch of them down. In fact, all of them, because they're all excellent suggestions. Some of them were doubled up on, so there's obviously experiences that more than one of you have made on this car. Yeah, just to clarify, this does have the Weber carburetor on it. Going back to my video from the other day, I used to have a Zenith carburetor on it, and that was the one that suffered from overrun, but this one doesn't. So it's the Weber carb. So there's a whole bunch of stuff I want to check on there. Some of you were talking about ground issues and gave me some excellent pointers on that. So I'll check what I've got in terms of grounds and check if they're clean, check if I need new ones, and check the spark plugs, things like that. So let's see what I get done today, but I'm just going to start with the easiest ones first, maybe check if the alternator's working, because of that. You noticed on the last video, that was a fully charged battery and the car turned over so badly that I always thought it was an issue with the battery. So it might be the battery's knackered, but it doesn't show up on the trickle charger. It seems to be a good battery. So yeah, I'm going to push the car outside again, my morning exercise, and I will start going through this list. Hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so I'm just going to start with removing this first spark plug here. I'll get that out and see what kind of colour it is. Make sure that's fitting on there properly. There we go. It's 0 degrees up here this morning, so it's good that the sun's shining, because without that it'd be very cold. Okay, let's have a look. Oh dear, come on. Okay. So just having a first look. Let me see if I can get that to focus. Nope. Can we get that to focus? Yeah, there we go. So that's a look at that spark plug. What do we think about that? I mean, there's a lot of soot on it, but actually right at the end, it's quite... Let's see if we can get that in the light. Any better? Yeah, so I'll give them a clean up. They are quite sooty, but it's not as bad as I expected it to be. To be honest. What do you guys think? Okay, so I'm just checking the Haynes manual for the spark plug gaps. So what we've got here is gaps 0.029 to 0.032. So what I've got there is 0.31 here, I think. 15, 25, yeah, 31. And that is, oops, that is, it's a bit tight, which is fine. So I could go less, I guess, but that's what I remember setting them at. So the gap is all right. Okay, so I've just taken the spark plug out of number 3 cylinder, and similar story there really. There's a bit of black on there, but right at the end, where it matters, it seems to be pretty clean. But it might have been the fact that I put that carb cleaner through the system on Tuesday. So maybe that's what's cleaned it up. But I'm not going to take any more out because I'm guessing they're all the same. I'm going to put those back in, and I will, what am I going to do next? I'm going to try the voltmeter across the battery terminals to see if the alternator's working. Okay, so just checking the ground here on the battery. So it actually goes to the left-hand side of the battery and down onto, I don't know if you can see it, down onto that side there. And because I've painted this tray, I dare say there is no, a bare metal down there. So first of all, I'm not sure if it should go to that side. I mean, I put it back as I took it apart, I'm pretty sure, but I can't get to that side to do any cleaning on that paint because it's right between the wing. But if I moved it to this side, then I could get better access to that bolt down there. So I'll check that one. I'll clean that up. But if I go underneath the car, oh, careful. Go underneath the car here, then you can see this earth here. So the starter motor does have earth onto the chassis there, and then that goes up and connects to that bolt there on the starter motor. So what I'll do is I'll take those off, I'll clean those connections up and see if that helps at all. Okay, so I just removed the earthing cable from the starter motor to the chassis, and just having a quick look at it here, it was really dirty. And these are, by the looks of it, copper or brass ends, so I've cleaned those up quite a bit. And I've also put a whole bunch of brake cleaner in that joint. But otherwise, I've cleaned up the bolt that goes to the starter motor and given it a new washer. And what I'm going to do now is clean all the paint away from where the oh, you can't see it. That nut over there, that connects to the chassis, but it's all painted black, so I'll have to get the Dremel on there and clean some paint away. Okay, you can't really see, and I'm not going under the car to show you, but that bolt at the end there, I've cleaned up all of the paint around that bolt hole on the chassis with the Dremel, and then you can't really see, but then the bolt that, where is it? The bolt that goes onto the starter motor, I've cleaned all the paint off around there as well. So I'm going to put some grease on there, and hopefully that will improve that ground connection. Okay, so this is really cool because I had a bit of luck there. The caretaker, who I know pretty well, who actually helped me put in my lift, his name's Marco, lovely chap. He has some earthing cable, proper earthing cable, and I know it's not original. That was on the car. They sort of use braided earthing cables on the negative to the battery and on the starter motor. But what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to run this one directly from the negative terminal. I'm going to sort of run it neatly round here behind the air filter, and then directly onto, oops, that was the bonnet, directly onto, where is it now? Yeah, this connection here, the oil filler neck connection to the engine. So that should give me a better earth to the battery. And I think also I'm going to take out the braided cable I just put in there and either replace it with this stuff, which is brand new cable. Not either, I will do that, and I'll keep the old braided cable for a rainy day. Okay, so one very practical thing about the Land Rover obviously is that you can flip the bonnet right back just by taking these two parts off of the hinge here, which is that bit there. So it gives you a huge amount more light and space to work. So should have done that before, really. So just to recap there, I'm going to put a new earthing cable round here, over here, and then connect it to that bolt on the engine block down there.
Okay, just finishing off this earthing cable here. I'm going to use the heat gun to shrink wrap this end so it's protected against the elements. Okay. Okay, so I think that is, as you say, Steam Wally, belt and braces. I've yet to do the extra ground on the starter motor to the chassis, but I'll do it exactly the same way, and that runs quite neatly under that cabling loom. I've cable tied it to the loom, the original loom, round there, and then onto that bolt down there. So hopefully that will give me a much better ground for the battery. Okay, so this is the other ground cable I've made up for the starter motor to the chassis. So hopefully that will fare a little bit better than this. This doesn't look too bad, but maybe it's just getting a bit old and the connectors aren't that reliable, but it's worth a try. Okay, so I've got both of the new ground cables connected, and I'm just going to start it up now to see if it makes any difference. So yeah, I think you just heard that. That didn't really make much difference at all. What I'll do now is I'll just go for a quick drive and try the multimeter across the battery terminals just to see how well that battery's charging. But that, I don't know, maybe the second time it turned over a little bit better, but the first time was just the same old thing. It was just a really sluggish turnover. So, I don't know. Okay, so I'm just going to test the voltage here across the battery terminals. I've got that jammed in there. I hope that's going to work. So 14.3736. So that, I believe, is perfect. So that means the alternator is working. So I just don't know why that starter motor turns over so badly. So yeah, I've done quite a few of the things that are on the list that you guys recommended to me. Replaced the earthing cables from the starter motor to the chassis, and also from the battery terminals to the engine, just to improve that. And on startup, it didn't seem to help from cold. So I don't know, maybe it's just a weak starter motor. But as soon as it starts to go round, and then you try it again, and it sort of gets going. So I don't know what it could be. I'll try it again now that it's warm, but it always starts better when it's warm. So again, any ideas very welcome, but maybe I just need to drive it. One of you said it just needs a proper drive, and you're absolutely right. You know, I need to go off for a couple of hours and get it nice and warm and use it on a daily basis, or not, maybe not on a daily basis, but regularly. But to do that, obviously, I've got to get the MOT. So we are getting closer. That's one step closer to getting things sorted. So brilliant, yeah. Thanks very much for all your help, and I'll see you next time. See why that's spluttering a little bit is to hold my local currency, which is a €5 note, up against the exhaust pipe and see if the note gets sucked back in. So I don't know if you can see that, but it actually is sucking back against the exhaust pipe. See it? It's sucking back. That is quite interesting. So maybe one of the valves is not opening properly on the exhaust. You know, one of the exhaust valves isn't opening properly or functioning properly.